Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us on Midday. Somebody may look very familiar.
Yes.
Dr. Kristen Mark, you are joining us not only for Pillow Talk today, but also Table Talk.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
No, we love having you here. Dr. Mark tells us about a lot of things that a lot of us want to know, but don't want to actually talk about a lot of times. Breaks those barriers. So I'm interested to see your opinion on some other things that may not be as important in life.
Sure. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah. Good. You?
Yeah, good. It was a busy, what was it, last week was Pride downtown?
Yep, it was.
It was
and then we had
busy.
July 4th right after that. Yeah.
Crazy stuff going on. Did you
Yep.
stay in town?
I did. Yeah.
Tell everybody where you're from. Tell us about yourself, because we
Yeah,
actually never talk about you.
No,
when
yeah,
we're
so
there.
I'm actually from Canada, which you may have noticed my accent along the way. But I've been in Kentucky for 7 years now, and I love it in Lexington.
Well, and okay, we've never even broke this down on the segments, because we just go into Pillow Talk and then we just jump right in.
Right.
What is your real job, like, description?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do on a daily basis other than coming in here and talking about sex?
Right. So I'm a professor at University of Kentucky. So I'm an associate professor, which means that I teach some courses, but I mostly do research. And I run my lab where we have a whole bunch of research projects going on. And then I also do therapy. So that's like couples therapy or individual therapy.
Okay, these research projects, we're not talking like test tubes and microscopes and all that kind of stuff. What do you do?
No, it's social science research. So that means that we're doing like surveys or interviews or
But all relationship stuff.
on relationships and sex. Yeah.
So it's saucy.
It is saucy. Yeah, it's fun.
I bet you have some of the best stories that you're probably not allowed to tell.
Well, we can tell them. We do tell them in the form of journal articles often.
That is true.
Yeah.
And then you never name the people, right?
No,
is it like,
no, it's always confidential. There's like tons of ethical requirements related to sex research and related to just research in general when you're dealing with human subjects. So, yeah.
when people go, okay, sorry, I have a lot of interest in this subject. When people, feel compelled to go be part of it, what do we call them, sex experiments?
Sometimes they're thought of that way. Yeah, so what typically happens is you might just participate in a simple online survey, or you might talk to me on the phone. My most recent study was like a phone interview study, so I talked to people on the phone. Or you might end up, like in some cases, there's psychophysiological research, which means you are going into a lab.
Oh.
And I did a bit of that in my doctoral program. I don't do that at UK, but you like actually get hooked up to a bunch of machines and does things like eye dilation or heart rate or vasodilation in your genitals, a variety of different things.
While doing stuff.
Yep, you might be watching sexually explicit material, or you might be...
Who signs up for this stuff?
We get participants. Yeah, we used to call them boner bucks. Because they get some...
It's a technical term, people. Technical term.
Because they get paid for participating in the study.
See, we never got back down to that.
Yeah,
because it's always, like today we're talking about breakups.
Yeah.
We didn't jump right into that. We're not going to break your heart right off the bat.
Right.
Instead, you have a very interesting job.
I do. Yeah, it's interesting and like relevant to everyone, whether you're having sex in a relationship or not.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Transitioning into this, we're talking about bunk beds, which I don't know.
Beds.
I don't know if there's any
Hard
surveys
to do those things in bunk beds.
There you go. It's hard to conduct that kind of research in a bunk bed. But how would you feel about renting a bunk bed instead of an actual apartment? Well, the California chain of PodShare Homes now rents bunk beds with Wi-Fi and a few toiletries, aiming to provide affordable housing in the cities of LA and San Francisco. The monthly rent, $1,200 bucks. It includes a locker, pod, shelf, and television. You also get ramen noodles and toilet paper. But on the flip, there is very little privacy. Would you do this?
I mean, if I were like in college, maybe.
Yeah.
But as an adult?
No.
These are for adults?
No, yes.
Yeah, as an adult, I don't know. I feel like that's not enough privacy.
This sounds awful.
Yeah.
I think it sounds awful. Look,
does.
I was a snob that didn't even live in a dorm in college. Sorry, I'll just say it out there. Because One, I don't sleep, and two, if there's like 9,000 other people in there, there's no way.
Yeah, I was in a dorm in my first year of undergrad, and I loved it.
Did you?
But I don't want to do it now.
No.
You know?
And $1,200 is a lot of money for a bunk
I guess
bed.
these are mostly in bigger cities
Right,
like LA, where there's really, really expensive housing, where there's not really alternatives.
But still.
I wouldn't do it.
I mean, you as a therapist, is this a good idea?
Well, I think it would certainly stunt the development of your romantic relationships.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you have a
do you
romantic
even do it?
relationship unless you happen to like your bunkmate?
But then it's in an entire open room like that. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, have
yeah,
you ever
yeah.
stayed in hostels?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so again.
And that's also very,
Is it like
it was
that
great
as
in my
well?
20s. I don't have any desire to do it now.
Yeah.
So maybe this is more ideal for people who are like in their 20s.
Or like I mean, would this be better for somebody who's socially awkward, who needs to get out there and meet people, or somebody who just doesn't care
there are
and lets
other
it all
ways.
hang out?
There are other ways to meet people, I think,
I agree.
as opposed to living in a pod share.
But
Yeah,
they
that's-
do throw in those ramen noodles.
Oh, well then.
Right there.
Yeah, and that's, to me, screams college.
Ding, 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 sold.
Right,
Sold.
right.
Let us know. It's on our Facebook if you would do something like this. I mean, it doesn't even look like, it sounds awful to
Yeah,
me.
it really does. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to talk about another living style. And this one, we're starting off depressing. Have you thought about what you're going to do when you retire? I haven't even thought about what I'm doing tomorrow, but 7 childhood friends in China did. So they all live in a mansion that they decided to buy together. It started as a joke, turned into reality when they bought a property for 4 million. Is it Yong? I don't, yen. Yen.
Yeah, yen.
Oh, that sounds right. Or about 580,000. I need to become more cultured. $580,000. They then fixed it up into a beautiful mansion. They're going to live separate lives until their children grow up and move out. Then they're all going to move in together and live out the rest of their days in luxury. It's a beautiful home.
Yeah, I love this.
What do you think about this?
I love this idea. And in fact, my girlfriends that I've been friends with since some of them since kindergarten, they're still my closest group of friends. And we've talked about this. We've talked about when we retire, I mean, husbands die before wives. Almost all of them are married. And so when they all die off, like, why can't we just live our days, have wine and a pool
in a mansion,
in a beautiful
and
mansion?
It's probably
sounds
completely
amazing.
paid off by the time you get there.
Exactly. No, that sounds amazing. And then you can give it to like all of your children, who hopefully will all be friends.
Right.
I mean, this is obviously an
idealistic world. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I do too. There's always like the little things along the way, like what if one person dies?
Right.
Sorry to bring it to the...
Yeah. And we're not all going to die at once,
Yeah.
holding hands in our mansion.
I hope not.
Right,
We don't
but-
need that kind of cult stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's
And then
maybe you have to then pay that family or something.
And if they're renting it out along the way and making income before they all retire,
great.
that's actually a fantastic idea.
I know. You have to just have the capital to be able to invest in that kind of thing now, which is hard to do.
That's true. But this is actually getting wheels spinning. Some phone calls are going to be
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
You need to jump on that.
I know. Oh, we've talked about it. Like, actually have talked about it.
All right, Table Talk is fun with you because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You have to come back and do the beginning of the show more
Yeah,
often.
for sure.
All right.